Hello, my name is Christopher Topol, and I would like to introduce Disaster Dash, a 2D endless runner where the player must utilize the environment to escape a series of natural disasters. Featured within the play space, a time clock will take the place of a score system at the top of the screen. The game will begin with the clock starting at 2 minutes, and as the player progresses throughout the level, the timer will go down. With each natural disaster that follows the player, there will be a different timed execution that the player must meet before they reach the next checkpoint, where the natural disaster will reach them and overcome them. The game will begin with the player hiking upon a large mountaintop as he notices a large meteor shower that starts to envelop him. Continuing throughout the game, the player will reach a checkpoint where the current natural disaster will cease and will trigger another. The player will trigger the first checkpoint on his way down the mountain when the player reaches the cliff at the bottom of the mountainside. A large meteor will fall in the ocean that will cause a tsunami, and whilst the player traverses a ravaged city to escape the tsunami, he will notice a bomb shelter in the distance. Once the player sees this, he will notice an enormous meteor slowly falling towards the player. The bomb shelter serves as a winning condition and is the end goal for the player. At the start of each checkpoint, the player will be rewarded with a 10-second pause from gameplay to show a cutscene introducing the next natural disaster. The timer at the screen will start over, and the player must traverse throughout the new environment utilizing the same mechanics that they did in the previous ones. The game will keep track of the player's time throughout each checkpoint, and every second saved is summed up for the final checkpoint. The moment the player reaches the final checkpoint, all of the additional time saved throughout the game will be added to the final stretch of time the player needs to get to the bomb shelter. The final checkpoint will be special because there will be 3 green interactable objects that require precision jumping to reach and dive kicks to break, to give the player a number of the passcode to the bomb shelter. The player can achieve a good ending by reaching the bomb shelter without the passcodes, but the player can only achieve a perfect ending by collecting all the passcodes. A bad ending is being unable to make it to the ending of any of the checkpoints before the countdown clock reaches 0. As a player tries to outrun the current natural disaster, they will come up to an interactable object that can increase their speed temporarily and give them an added time bonus that will add time to the countdown clock. Objects that have yellow interactable icons are meant to be jumped on and will boost the player's position until they land, and they will receive an additional 5 seconds on the countdown clock. Objects that have a red interactable are meant to be dive kicked to weaken their integrity and can affect the natural disaster in a way to slow it down, or it can boost the player's position until they land and give them an added time bonus of 10 seconds. There is, however, a 25% chance that it will trigger an obstacle wherever the player lands and will instead slow them down and nullify the added time bonus. Some of the interactable objects will include broken tree limbs, weak flooring, shaking manhole covers, and car hoods. Players must also avoid being hit by small meteorites, rolling boulders, flying manhole covers, and fleeing animals. Failing to jump over any of these will trip up the player and take an additional 5 seconds off of the clock. Players must decide when and where to jump and dive kick, and even when to stop and avoid being slowed down. With the goal being to obtain the best time possible, the player must keep a vigilant eye upon the screen to watch out for moving obstacles. Some similar games to this are Temple Run 2, Subway Surfers, and Alto's Odyssey. This game is different from these in the aspect of the natural disaster storyline, time mechanics, and the potential to obtain a perfect, good, and bad ending. Potential risks of creating this game is how frustrating it might be for some to make it past the later checkpoints or obtain all the passcodes to the bomb shelter. There is also a risk of level design because of the amount of coding and additional animations required for this, but I believe this can be rectified by transforming this video game into a stick figure type of world and simplifying the artwork that goes along with it. 4 months should be more than enough time to complete a game like this. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to prototyping this for our future players.